Hello everyone, this is Two Kitten Funko Review. I am Thomas, this is Morgan, and we are here this evening to talk about the Big Bang Theory Funko Pops that just came out recently. Not the new ones that are San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but the ones that just recently came out. We actually got fortunate and we found a full set at GameStop, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a Big Bang Theory fan. I've enjoyed the series up until like season 6 or 7. I don't even know how many seasons. There's like 13 or 14 seasons now. But I really enjoyed it when it first came out. Not so much nowadays. I thought it got too crazy and over the top. We've got a lovely kitten here. This is Logan. She is one of our namesakes. She is just hanging out, enjoying the fun stuff. Alright, anyway.
Trying not to get into trouble.
Yeah, that's what they do. So, first and foremost, let's introduce you to some of the casts of this lovely YouTube channel. First, we're going to open up with Sheldon Cooper. This Sheldon, you can see he is doing the Live Long and Prosper from Star Trek, aka made famous by
Leonard Nimoy,
who plays Spock. I couldn't think of his name for some reason. I was thinking Leslie Nielsen, but that's not even close. So I need my handy dandy tool. We're going to gently open this, so that way we can take them out. We're actually going to be getting a turntable, is what they call them. Essentially the device that we can place them on and spin it around.
I just call it a spinner thingy.
It's, yeah, if you look it up, they're called turntables, rotation tables, or something like that. It's really weird. So first and foremost is Sheldon Cooper. So he is not a bobblehead, obviously you can tell. He's just an action figure. The intimate details on this is amazing. You can see that, of course, like we were talking about before, the Live Long and Prosper sign, which I can't do. Can't do it. Can't do it. So he's doing that. The details on his shoes, the immaculate in his overall appearance, essentially is pretty much how he dressed in the show. So it was amazing to see that. I mean, everything is pretty much perfect and on point. Sheldon actually isn't my favorite character. He's most people's favorite character, just because of his idiosyncrasies and things like that. I mean, he's a great character, but he wasn't my favorite character. So there is Sheldon Cooper. We're gonna be moving boxes around as we speak because they're all on my side. I'm the Big Bang Theory fan. I say that like 5 times fast. So I know more about the show than Morgan here, so I'm going to be doing most of the talking. She's just going to be helping out. And then when we do our Addams Family, she's going to do most of the talking. I'm just going to throw in my 2 cents here and there. You know, gotta talk. Next up, we have Amy Farrah Fowler. So if you don't know who Amy Farrah Fowler is, her actress was the person who did
Stand. By the way, guys, this one has a stand.
I think the other one might have had a stand too. No?
Stand alert.
Stand alert. So on the left or right foot is where this stand placement is. So you can just slowly pop it in. Be careful because she has eyeglasses on. We don't want to break those. There we go. Should sink right in, so you can see that overall. Amy Farrah Fowler is main actress who did, was it Bridget? I can't remember this. Blossom.
I know that show.
So that was her, the show she came from. She's also actually a neuroscientist, a real life neuroscientist. So she was supposed to be a consultant on the show, but then they realized she was an actress as well. And they're like, well, why don't you play Amy Farrah Fowler? So she's like, sure, why not? So she did it, and obviously she's been a fan favorite ever since. This is from her birthday episode or sleepover episode where she wears the tiara she brings in because she wanted to feel like a princess because she never had a sleepover or anything else like that. So that's why she's wearing the tiara. She becomes best friends with Penny through Sheldon, and they essentially start dating and yada yada yada. No spoiler alerts, it's pretty self-explanatory from the first episode. You meet her. She's pretty much has the same idiosyncrasies as Sheldon does. She's just a little bit more, I don't know, affectionate, I guess, because she wants more of a human relationship than Sheldon's platonic, crazy relationship. I don't know how to explain what he feels about females. Anyway, so there's Amy for a follower.
I like that her foot is just slightly elevated, so it's not a flat-footed character.
She's definitely not that. So be careful of the stand, and be careful of her eyeglasses. She actually, the eyeglasses, I meant to point this out, there actually is a very fine lens. You can see, I don't know if you saw it right through there, see that bifocal? I know it's hard to see because of the camera, but it was better lower. But you can see the bifocal aspect of her glasses, even though they're fake. So there is actual lenses there. They're not real lenses, but they're supposed to be like pictating lenses. Alrighty, next up is my favorite, Leonard Hofstadter. The reason why I like Leonard is because his ability to continue on, even though he should have said no a long time ago to Sheldon. Essentially, without Leonard, there would be no Big Bang Theory, because it's his dynamic with Sheldon that make the most interesting avenues. And without Leonard, you wouldn't have Raj Kruthapalli, you wouldn't have Howard Wolowitz, you wouldn't have Penny, you wouldn't have Bernadette, you wouldn't have any of those characters introducing, because without without Leonard, those relationships with Sheldon would never have come to fruition. So that is why he's my favorite character, because he is essentially the iconic character holding the glue together. So if you notice, he's actually in a bathrobe holding a sign. That's a sarcasm. This is off of the episode where they're trying to teach Sheldon what sarcasm is because he doesn't understand it. So every so often, Leonard would be like, "That's sarcasm," and he's like, Sheldon would be like, "Oh, okay." So you can see bathrobe sign, trying to essentially give Sheldon a not so subtle hint. What's really cool is the details on the bathrobe. It goes all the way around. You can see the bathrobe knots or
it's not really focusing.
Yeah, it's really hard to see, but you can get an idea. So
I'll do more of a close-up and edit it in for you guys.
So you can see that avenue. Of course, again, he's wearing his socks, and then of course the sarcasm sign, which is my favorite. When I saw that, I laughed. I thought it was hysterical. It was really good. Alrighty. Next up, we have Bernadette Rostentowski. I totally butchered that. I never was good at her last name, just because it was different. Now she has a stand as well, so
stand alert.
Stand alert. We don't. She is another character with glasses. You want to do it? So essentially how Bernadette gets introduced, and she's actually in her, what is it called? Cheesecake Factory. What is the...
Waitress?
Yeah, she's actually, well, they worked at the Cheesecake Factory. I can't remember the full name of it, but it's The cheese. Oh, it is called the Cheesecake Factory. She's in her waitress outfit, so essentially this is probably around the time when she either gets introduced to the gang or one of the many episodes where they're at the Cheesecake Factory where Bernadette originally worked at before she gets her degree and starts working in a, what is it, microbiology. Essentially, she makes viruses and studies viruses. So I can't remember the full name of what she does. It's complicated for us mortal beings. So essentially, she's good friends with Penny, gets introduced to the gang, meets Howard. They start dating. Howard messes up, blah blah blah, like Howard does. They break up, and then they start going back out again. Spoiler alert. So Bernadette was one of those characters when I first got introduced. I wasn't really like impressed with her. It was more like I thought she was going to be like a filler character with Howard, but essentially she stayed along. She lasted a very, very, very long time, since season 3, I think it was, 2 or 3, and she's been with the show ever since. Great actress. I can't remember her name. I really enjoy her work. She was in a couple movies and things like that. So very versatile. But Bernadette as a character essentially becomes a replacement for Howard's mom. May she rest in peace. The actress who played the voice of Howard's mom, she passed away a couple years ago, as well as was a great voice actress, and then that's essentially who she emulates afterwards. So that is Bernadette. And then next up we have the man, the myth, the legend, astronaut, Howard Wallace. He does not have a stand, so it looks like all the male characters don't have stands, but all the female characters do.
So far.
No, that's pretty much dead on. I'm looking at the boxes, and Penny has a stand, Raj does not have a stand, and Stuart does not have a stand. Okay. Interesting. So this is Howard Wolowitz. He is one of the original 4 or 5, including Penny. This is astronaut Howard in a spacesuit, where he becomes essentially an astronaut because he's the only one who can fix a small lever on the toilet in one of the space shuttles. Or, I think it's a space shuttle. No. Space station. So they train him to be an astronaut. He goes up there, fixes it. Has to stay up there for a while because obviously, you know, that's what they do. Comes back down, and he's an astronaut. And no one ever believes him because he definitely does not look like the type to be an astronaut. It's a funny episode. Great episode. It's actually the end of season 3 or 4. I can't remember. 3 or 4, I think. So it's a great episode, ending to a season as well. So that is Howard.
And the detail in this one is actually really cool. You can see, I don't know if it'll focus, but his name is actually showing. Yeah, it's not going to focus. But his name's actually on his suit. And then you've got, like, even that is not attached. I don't know, the parts of a spacesuit. I'm not. But just, yeah, the detail of the suit is pretty awesome.
Next up, we have Raj Koothrappali. So if you're familiar with the show, you will know this when I point it out. Do a very good job on this one. Alright, so this is Raj Koothrappali. If you can tell, he's got a martini glass in his hand, and he's probably drinking a grasshopper, one of his favorite drinks. So Raj has a problem talking with women, so he drinks to talk with women, and that's what he does. So that's the drink in his hand. So obviously they thought about the character details and everything else like that. It's really cool. Raj was one of those characters, again, one of the starting 5. So pretty much this is pretty early season, like season 3, season 4-ish, around that time frame, where all these characters are being introduced more so and being established and having their own side stories. So this is one of Raj's side stories with the grasshopper and the drink. So pretty interesting. Him and Howard are best friends, do a lot of crazy stuff together.
And it is a green drink, so I'm assuming that is the grasshopper.
Well, yeah, no, I know it's the grasshopper. It's his favorite drink. That's what I said. Anyway, moving on. We got 2 more to go, and then we'll be done. Don't let Raj be on his head like that. They're a little top heavy.
Raj does not stand very well, just so you know, guys. He's already tipsy.
Apparently. Funny. Alrighty. So this is our main heroine, our female lead, Penny. No last name. I don't think you ever find out her last name. And then, of course, when she... Spoiler alert. So, this is Penny. Now, if you're familiar with the show, you can see she has a laptop and a headset on, and her clothes are very comfortable. This is the season where she gets introduced to a role-playing game from Howard, Raj, and the guys. Essentially, Raj, Howard, Leonard, and Sheldon. And she gets hooked. She gets hooked. She starts playing it, going crazy, having fun in it, doing all this crazy stuff. So this is that episode. She literally goes next door, carrying her laptop, her headset, and everything else like that, over to essentially ask them a couple questions and everything else like that. And then she, of course, realizes what's going on, freaks out, and then cancels everything and goes back to being her normal self. So that's a cool thing. I love the details on this one. Love the microphone, the laptop. If you turn her around, you can see the partial bun that she's wearing. It's actually poofs up and splits off into multiple sections like a normal bun would. So the details on that are amazing.
And you guys probably can't tell, that's why I'm angling it. She's even got bags under her eyes.
She hasn't slept for a few days.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you play role-playing games. MMORPGs, baby.
And this one had a stand.
It does have a stand.
Stand alert.
Alrighty.
Definitely needs her stand to stand.
Last but not least, and never forgotten, our dear comic book owner, Stuart. Stuart Bloom, our resident comic book owner. So Stuart Bloom, of course, he's the comic book owner that the guys go to because it's pretty much not that far from the house. He's got a clipboard in his hand. He's actually checking off inventory. You can see that with his pencil or pen, whatever he's using. Who knows, he could be drawing something. One of the crazy things is that Stuart actually goes on a date with Penny and draws her a picture, and she likes that, and she goes out on a date with him. Doesn't go much further than that, but he becomes more involved with like season 6, 7, 8. Other than that, he was more of a guest spot. So I was wondering why they did it with this series, because this seemed like it was from season 3, season 4. But I guess that's around the time frame where Stuart actually asked Penny on a date. So, but there's Stuart. One of the cool things is if you look at his hair, he actually has curly hair, curly-ish hair in the show. So you can see the curls and the waves and everything in the details of his hair, which I found really interesting. You know, even on the jacket, it's really hard to tell, but the bottom of the jacket actually has the striped lining, which is like the stretchy material. So that was also interesting. So there is that. So these are all of the new Big Bang Theory, besides the new ones being released by San Diego Comic-Con, which are all of them dressed up as
in Halloween costumes
from season 1, season 2, where they dress up as Justice League, or is it later on? Actually, no, I think it's season 4 where they dress up as the Justice League, because they're going to the comic book store because they're doing a Halloween costume contest, and whoever has the best costume wins something. So they convince Penny to dress up as well, and they all go as the Justice League. I really want that set. It looks amazing. I've seen pictures of it and everything, so I'm super excited for it, and I'm hoping I can get my hands on one, because I know they're going to be going to Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to find out if my local Walmart's going to have a set, or if I can order it. So I'm really excited about that, because I really want that set. I think it's amazing, like the the quality of work they did with it and what we've seen on it. So just to show you, this is the back of the box. You can see all of them. This is Penny's. She's 780. You can see it starts with Sheldon. He's 770. What, 776?
Yep.
And it goes all the way up to 782. So with that, I want to thank you guys for coming in, hanging out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, please and thank you. We are doing our giveaway still once we hit 250 subscribers on YouTube, 500 on Instagram. As we get closer, we'll put more information out. We are 61 followers on Instagram, so we're getting pretty close to that. We've got a long way to go on YouTube though. So, but for all the people who did subscribe, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to this long, loving journey with you guys. And to all the Funko Pop champions out there who are collectors, keep up the good work. Hopefully, you get everything that you want. Thank you much. Have a good night.